Hi class, today we are on Saxon Math Book 4, Lesson 53, and we're going to talk about dividing by one-digit numbers with remainders. So, we already know if we have 12 dots and we want to divide them by 4, we can show that by putting these dots into groups of 4. So I can take 1, 2, 3, 4, there's a group. 1, 2, 3, 4, there's a second group. And 1, 2, 3, 4, there's a third group. I have 3 groups of 4, so I know, this marker's too light, let's switch it out. So I know that 12 divided by 4 equals 3. That's pretty light too. Let's stick with purple and black, okay? 12 divided by 4 equals 3. That is great, but what if, instead of having 12, what if I have 13? And the problem is now 13 divided by 4. I'm going to start with the same process. I'm going to divide them into groups of 4. But then I look at this guy and I go, uh-oh, I've got 1 left out. 13 doesn't divide evenly by 4. So what do I do about it? We call him the remainder. He is what remains, or what is left over, after we've made as many groups of 4 as we possibly can. So 13 divided by 4 gives me how many groups? 1, 2, 3 groups. Plus, I have a remainder, so I write a capital R of 1. 3 remainder 1 would be my answer to 13 divided by 4. Okay? For our next problem, we're going to do 16 divided by 3. So let's start with 16 dots. And actually, I'm even going to put them in groups of 3. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There's my 16 dots. I've put them in rows of 3 already, so I can see that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups of 3. But then I've got this guy left over. He remains. He is the remainder. And I would write my answer, capital R, 1 is the remainder. Now what if, instead of 16, what if it were 17 divided by 3? Here I still have 5 groups, but I don't have a remainder of 1. Now I have a remainder of 2. And I write it the same way, I just put the digit up there to represent how many dots or how many objects are left over. Okay? When I see you in class, we are going to be doing an activity together using either counters or Cheerios or paper clips. If you have some small little manipulative, maybe marbles you might have at home, or even Legos, something that you have at home, you will need, it looks like at least 25 of them. In my family, my kids like to use chocolate chips because then they want to eat them afterwards. So anything that you have around that you can count, make sure that's handy when we do today's lesson. We'll be doing an activity with those in person later today. If you are not in my class and you're just watching this on YouTube, you can do the same thing, get some counters out. This activity is on page 339 of your textbook. All right, our next example. The science club will take 20 members to the museum. 20 people going. Vans and a car will be used to take the members to the museum. Each van can carry 6 members. How many vans can be filled? How many members will ride in the car? So we've got 20 total people. We need to divide that by the 6 people that can go in each van. So 20 divided by 6. I could draw a picture, or I could just count by 6 and see how close I can get to 20. So that's usually what I like to do. I'd say 6, 12, 18, 24. 24 is too many, so I have to go with 3. I can make 3 groups of 6. 3 times 6 is 18. I counted that out. I can do 3 times 6, and I put that number down here. Then I subtract. What is 20 minus 18? That's going to give me a 2. Now this little number, if you have something left over here, that is your remainder. That tells me this many people aren't going to fit in the 3 vans. So how many people have to go in a car? 2. If we were just dividing 20 by 6, this would be our answer. But since this is a word problem, the question says, how many vans can be filled? Well, that's going to be the 3, because there are 6 people in a van. I can fill up 3 of them. How many people will have to ride in a car? That's your remainder, 2. 3 vans will be filled. 2 more people will have to ride to the museum in a car. Next example. Lucius needs at least 18 quarts of apple cider to make punch for a school party. Apple cider is only sold in gallons. How many gallons should he buy? He needs 18 quarts. It's sold in gallons. How many quarts come in a gallon? Think about the kingdom of G. How many queens were there? There were 4. So 18 divided by 4 will tell me how many gallons I need. Can I do 18 divided by 4? Not without a remainder. So let's see how close we can get. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. 20 is too much, so we'll go with 4 groups of 4 we can make. 4 times 4 gives me 16. I put that number right here under the dividend. And 18 minus 16 is 2. So I have 4 remainder 2. But this is a word problem, so let's look at what they're asking for. How many gallons should he buy? He can't buy a remainder portion. He needs 18 quarts. So is 4 gallons going to be enough? No. He'll need to buy 5 gallons, and then we know he'll have a little extra because he doesn't quite need the 5 gallons. So how many gallons should he buy? Lucius should buy 5 gallons. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to do your lesson practice, which begins on page 341. If you are in my class, make sure your lesson practice is finished before you see me later today, and we will go over the answers at that point. If you're not in my in-person class, then you can still do the lesson practice and have a homeschool teacher check your answers before you start your written practice, which also begins on page 341. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you soon.